even if you are very careful and gentle with them, be prepared that you might not ever be able to wear them again after you wash them. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As I have done a couple times before, it's time for another full year's review of things that I bought from Amazon now a year plus later. Am I still using them? Am I still liking them? So I've already done videos on my 2019 and 2020 Amazon purchases, and now I'm moving on to 2021 Amazon purchases, since, believe it or not, we are almost at the end of 2022 at this point. So I already know this is going to be a very long one because, you know, as the pandemic progressed, I bought a lot more stuff online than I did in previous years. So I'm going to just tell you in advance this is going to be split into two parts. So you'll see the first half in this video, and then I'll start up a second video and do the second half of my Amazon purchases. So I'm over here. I'm going to put up pictures of everything over here, and let's get started. The first item that we have is a hairbrush and comb cleaner. I forget where I had seen this. It had been on my wish list for a long time, I think, so I just randomly ended up buying it. I don't know why I waited so long. If you, like me, get a lot of like fine hair stuck in your brushes, this is just such an easy tool to quickly kind of and scrape it out. I mean, I do try to like pull the hair off of my brush every time I use a brush, but sometimes there's just like hair and crud that gets in there, and this just gets all of that lint and hair and stuff out. So little cheap thing that really made a big difference, and I still use it regularly and recommend it. Now this next item, the brand name is Npornk. I don't know, that always kind of made me giggle when I saw that come up. It's a set of 12 like battery operated LED candles. They were so nice. I think I had seen them recommended by somebody. They're beautiful little candles. They look very realistic. The flames like flicker in a very realistic way. I got them to put in my front windows of my house, and I guess I only needed probably like 6 of them, but it came in the set of 12, so I was like, you know, whatever, we'll have some extras. They come with a little remote control, and you can set them on a timer, so once you set them once, you know, to come on at like 5 p.m. every night, they'll just come on at 5 p.m. every night and turn off at whatever time you said. They're really wonderful. However, after a few weeks, maybe a month, they started one at a time dying, and they didn't just turn off, they would flash like crazy. And I didn't even realize it, you know, because it would be happening in maybe a room that I wasn't in. And so I didn't realize, maybe our neighbors thought we were like sending flashing signals or something. So, you know, I would switch it out, and then, you know, another one would start doing that, and I'd switch that out, or I'd change the batteries, and maybe it would work better for like a day, and then it would go back to flashing like crazy. And pretty soon they basically all were like that. They would maybe work for a day, and then they would just go back. So unfortunately, I cannot recommend these. If I found a set that was the same but like didn't do the flashing thing, these would be amazing and exactly what I'm looking for in you know, a winter candle display for the windows of my home, but these ones turned out to be a bust. Okay, now this next item is the Noco Boost Plus jump starter, battery jump starter for a car, because basically all of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, my car battery would die like every couple months. Now obviously I was not driving as much as I had been before, but you know, I would try to just take it out, even if I wasn't going anywhere, just like take it out and drive it around just to keep the battery going, and it still would die. And I was like nervous, what if this happened while I was out somewhere? A lot of times it happened while I was at home, and so like, you know, we have my husband's car and he could give me a jump start so I could go do what I needed to do, but I was really nervous about the battery dying while I was somewhere else. So I got this thing. I actually ended up having to use it. Worked great as a battery jump starter in the car. However, I later actually got the battery in my car replaced, and it turned out, I don't know like what the levels are that they use to like gauge battery life, but basically my battery had like 10% of whatever energy it's supposed to have to like start itself up. So the battery actually was dying. It wasn't just because I wasn't driving it enough, but it was like a really nice peace of mind to know that I had this in the car. Very easy to use. Actually, you can can also use it just as like a battery like backup for your phone or anything else that you could want to charge by USB. So you don't have to use it just by the clamps to jump a car battery. You can plug things into it as well. We actually, before I had this one, we were without power for about a week a couple years ago and borrowed one of these from someone else, and it was great for keeping our phones and things charged. But anyway, yeah, so I definitely highly recommend this. I know there's many of them out there. This seemed to be like a highly rated one. I had actually found it maybe in an article or something. So I'm not sure what I paid for it. It looks like it might be about $100 now. So I recommend it to keep in your like car emergency kit, and you can also use it in your home emergency kit for power outages. Okay, this thing, the Chom Chom lint roller, I don't know if you guys have seen ads for it on Instagram or anything. I definitely had gotten a lot of ads for this particular item, the Chom Chom roller. I don't know if there's other ones with different names. This thing definitely works. You know that I have 4 cats now. They shed all over our house. They have specific pieces of furniture that they particularly like sitting on, and they just become like encrusted with their fur, and this thing really does get it off. However, I'll say the listing itself on Amazon and also like the materials and things that you get with it really make it a very pointed effort to say, you know, you can't just wipe it across the hairy area. You have to kind of like scrub it back and forth, and they really demo it and show. I didn't have a problem with this. I had seen the demo in the ads, and I understood you have to kind of roll it back and forth. But apparently a lot of people maybe are like giving them bad reviews because they're like, oh, I just rolled it over the area and it didn't pick up the hair. It really works by the back and forth motion. It's not, I mean, I can't really explain the mechanism, but it's not like a circle that just spins and picks things up. It's sort of like a half circle that like scrapes it back and forth and scoops it up. So anyway, if you follow the way that you're supposed to use it, it works fantastic. You have to put a little elbow grease into it. You have to put a little effort. It really works great. Then you just open up the back of this thing and take out a big pile of fur, and you can just throw it out. But yeah, it really works great. So I regularly am going around chomming around all of our like upholstered furniture and things. So I was surprised to see this one in my 2021 purchases because I feel like I had it longer than this. But yeah, in 2021 I upgraded my webcam for my home office setup. My previous webcam, I don't even know how old it must have been, at least 10 years old, and basically it was like a little square potato picture. And so once I upgraded to this one, I was like, oh, you can see widescreen my entire room. There were things that used to be off camera that now you can see. So while it was a much nicer, clearer picture, I also had to kind of think more about what was going on in the background of my room all of a sudden. But it's definitely an improvement. It also has a built-in microphone. So there's actually been a couple times, I do prefer using a headset, but there's been a couple times like where my headset died and it was able to just switch seamlessly over to using the microphone on this camera. And like, it doesn't sound as nice as my nice headset that's right up by my face, but it definitely like allowed me to still continue. Like I was just giving a presentation the other day and this happened and I was like, oh no, can you still hear me? But it definitely still works. So I think this is like, I know there's like a higher end one that's maybe like the go-to one that a lot of people seem to be getting. This is, I mean, it's under $100. I don't know what webcams usually go for these days, but I usually would always just go with like the lowest end Logitech webcam that that was available at the time that I was getting one. I've been through a couple now in my life, so this seemed to be the current one, and like I said, it's very nice and sets up quickly and easily and works great. And around the same time, my mouse also died, so I ended up getting myself a new Logitech mouse. I don't use anything fancy. I use 2 buttons and a scroll wheel. I like a corded mouse, so I don't have to worry about changing batteries or charging batteries. And this is the most basic base model mouse. I see currently it's under $10, so that is my regular standard mouse. Okay, so this is a sling backpack that I actually got, I was kind of testing out a bunch of different bags and things to use for going on walks around the neighborhood, because I really just want to carry, my ID, a house key, my phone, a backup mask. Like that's pretty much it. And so I ended up getting this one, and it was like a little bigger than what I need just for those couple things. It's very nice. It has several different pockets. It's like a pretty large size. The sling part is really nice. It actually has like a little hook, so if you don't want to like take it on and off over your head, you can actually unhook it. I ended up not really using it, and it sat in my closet for a couple years. And then actually this summer, I forget where we were going, but we needed to bring like umbrellas and a couple other little things. And it was kind of like overloading my husband's pockets. And I said, hey, I have this sling bag. It's pretty like gender neutral looking, and it fit his umbrella perfect. And if he needed to carry a couple other things, it just didn't fit in his pockets. So that's actually become his bag now, and he keeps it with his little things for going out. So if he needs to take a little bit more than what fits in his pockets, that's the bag that he'll use now. Okay, this GE dehumidifier, I won't get into the whole story because I actually plan to make an entire video about our current basement situation, but long story short, we've always had a dehumidifier running in our basement. Our last one was running basically for 10 years straight, and so when it died last year, we bought this new one, which is basically like the current model of the same one that we had. It works great. It has like a hose that you can drain out, so you don't have to have the bucket fill up and then have to dump the bucket. You can just run the hose into a drain or a pump, which is what we do. But suffice to say, that situation has become a little less reliable lately, so we looked into some alternate dehumidifier solutions for our basement. It's ending up that we're gonna have a giant basement waterproofing renovation project, so stay tuned to the channel for that if you're into basement stuff, because I think it'll be really interesting, and hopefully I can get a video out of it. But anyway, yeah, so it's currently running. I guess, you know, we will have been using it for probably about 2 years by the time it gets retired, hopefully, when we replace everything in the basement with a whole different system. Okay, this next item is like a hose extension wand. So you hook it on the end of your garden hose, and it just gives you like a little bit more of a length so you can water your hanging baskets, or just like things that are harder to reach. So I usually always have hanging baskets on our porch. I used to have a really fantastic extension thing that would angle different ways, and it had different shaped sprayers and things, and it finally died, and so I ended up getting this one, and you'll see I'll come back to this, but this one is a little bit shorter. It doesn't angle. The head does not like bend or move at all. It just stays at this angle. It sprays in one formation. I do like the kind of trigger thing that you squeeze to you know, to spray the water, and it's sort of like metallic, like yeah, it's metal. So anyway, I used this for a little bit, but it did not compare to my previous one that I had been replacing. So next item up here is the AquaJoe telescoping watering wand. So this one seems fantastic, right? It telescopes. You can reach really long or something really high. It has all these different spray patterns. It angles all different ways. Two things I didn't like about it. One, it didn't have a trigger or anything to actually spray the water. There was like a little, I don't even know what to call it, almost like a little knob or a little lever that you had to like turn. So it wasn't really like easy or convenient to do with one hand to like turn it on or off. And the other thing is, it leaked from every joint on this thing. So you can see there's like a couple different joints that it telescopes out of. This entire thing leaked. It was a horrible mess. I would get soaking wet every time I watered the plants. So eventually I did retire that one and went back to the previous just plain simple metal one that I just showed. So that's actually what I'm still using now, is the metal one. This one, unfortunately, there's like too many leak points. It wasn't really worth it. Okay, so this next item is supposed to be a silicone mat that you put under like your dog or your pet food bowls so they don't make a mess while they're eating. What we use it for is to put under our cat's fountain that we keep in our bedroom, and it, you know, it runs like a faucet because they like drinking out of faucets, so we gave them their own little fountain. I'm not sure how many years we had it for, but basically the whole time we've had it, I had it sitting on a overturned lid to like one of those big plastic storage tubs, just so, you know, in case it leaked or splashed or something, it wasn't directly on the floor. And it was never ideal. I mean, it has different like ridges and grooves and things in it. It's not meant to be a tray, it's a lid. So eventually I was like, why are we doing this? We should just have a tray under here. And actually I had bought previously almost like a cafeteria lunch tray, and it was like not quite the right size. So I ended up getting this one. It was a little bit pricier, you know, for what it is, but it actually works great. There's several different sizes. So I got one that fits perfectly under our fountain, which has like a pretty big base because there's like a water reservoir in the front that they can drink out of, and then there's the fountain, and then there's like a container on the back that you can put extra water in to fill it. So it works great. It is kind of just like loose and flexible silicone, so it does bend and flex, but if you're not, you know, picking it up and lifting it around, that works fine. And then of course you can easily wash it off, or if something spills on it, you can easily clean it up. So definitely like that. Whether you're protecting from pet food or something wet or whatever, I would recommend this one. Okay, our vaccination card holders. So remember 2021 when everyone started getting their COVID vaccines, and then we're like, what do we do with these awkwardly sized little cards that now people want to see? So I had seen they started selling these vaccination card holders, and I ordered this pack of 10. So, you know, my husband and I have one, and then, you know, I gave a bunch to like family members and different people. I think I still have a couple left over. But basically, if you've ever gone to like a convention or anything where they give you a little name tag to wear on your neck, it's those. It's the little plastic sleeve that a name tag goes in. It happens to be the same size as your vaccine card, and it does take a little fussing, I'll say, to get it in the sleeve. You have to, there's like a, well, you'll see in the picture, but there's like a upper section. You have to kind of tuck it up in first and then put the rest of the card into the main section of the sleeve. So, and then it does kind of ziplock shut. So technically, I guess it's waterproof. I don't know if I'd like dunk the whole thing in water, but it's definitely protected. And you know, you're not supposed to laminate them because as you get the different boosters and things, they need to be able to continue writing on it. So I do just like that it's a little protected, but it is sort of fussy to get it in and out of that sleeve. Okay, so also last year I got a new laptop from my work, and of course every time you get a new laptop it has a new different kind of plug. So at this point I had, you know, a plug from like 2 laptops ago that had a little adapter on it so I could still use it, and now this new one has a new kind of plug. So I guess all the laptops now pretty much have the USB-C plug connector. So I ended up getting 2 of these adapters so I can use the one that got with the laptop, obviously doesn't need an adapter, and then I had one that I keep set up on my desk here in my home office, so added an adapter to that. And then I had the one in my office at work that had an old adapter, so I think that now has like an adapter to an adapter to an adapter. But so now all of my current cords that I had, I can still use with my new laptops. And I have been using these adapters now for, you know, well over a year and haven't had any issues with connectivity or, you know, catching fire or anything, so I think they're pretty good to use. Okay, so this is something, again, that I'm sorry I waited so long to get, but our oldest cat has always had a problem with throwing up after eating. I always just thought that he like maybe sometimes felt threatened by some of the other cats and would like hurry to eat really fast and then like walk away and instantly throw up, or, you know, something like that. But actually I had heard a lot about, you know, using elevated cat bowls to help cats like not throw up and to eat better. So I ended up getting this set of 2, and actually it was a good thing I got 2, really just intending to use the one for him. And really ever since we've been using it, which has now been, you know, again, well over a year, I don't think he's thrown up once after eating. So that's really made a huge difference. Then just in the last several months, one of our other cats started throwing up a lot after eating, and I was like, well, let me start using the other elevated bowl for him. So I did, and again, I don't think he's thrown up at all since then, and he had been throwing up like pretty regularly for a while. So if you have a cat who has an issue where they kind of throw up immediately after their meal, give an elevated bowl a try. I've recommended it to a number of other people, and they've also had good results with it. And I think just in general, it's like a better position for a cat to eat, not having to bend down so low, but especially if they're having problems like keeping their food down right after a meal, give an elevated bowl a try. Okay, this is the Daily Ritual Women's Cozy Knit Dolman Short Sleeve Tie Back Shirt. Basically, it's sort of like a knit textured short sleeve shirt, but the interesting thing, you can kind of see it in maybe in some of the smaller thumbnails here, is there's a tie in the back. So like at the bottom back, I know a lot of shirts now have like a little tie in the front at the waist. This is the same thing, but in the back, there's kind of two tails that tie together. So I like that because I hate adding extra little ties and things to the front where you like might already have a tummy and not want to like add extra stuff. So I thought it was interesting that this had a little extra something, but it was on the back. However, in practice, number one, it's a short sleeve top, but it's this like not heavy, but it's like a little bit thicker, heavier, like knit fabric, so it's just like sort of warm. And number two, you can't sit comfortably when you have a knot in the small of your back. I don't know what I was thinking. I had planned to get two. I planned to get this black one and one in another color, and then once I got this one, I was like, I don't need any more of these. So I have it, like it fits, you know, I could potentially wear it, but in reality, I just don't reach for it because I'm like, oh, well, am I gonna be riding in the car? Then I don't want a thing sticking in my back, or am I gonna be sitting somewhere? So if I was just going somewhere to stand, it would be great. But again, then like the temperature has to be right because the material's a little heavy. So anyway, it's a cool idea, but just like in reality for me, it's not my favorite. And then we have this other Daily Ritual jersey V-neck shirt. So I think you can tell, and if you've seen my previous videos or Amazon reviews, you know I do like the Daily Ritual brand on Amazon. This is a really nice shirt. I think I have a couple of them now in a couple different colors. They're like a little bit, they're heavy, not heavy like that knit one, but like a little bit heavier weight of a t-shirt. So like they're a little more substantial t-shirt. They're a little bit looser fit. The V neckline is very nice. They're super, super soft. I guess because I just have like so many t-shirts, I haven't worn them a ton, but they definitely are in my like t-shirt collection and in rotation. And again, they're really nice if you're looking for like some basic t-shirts to just kind of like round out your wardrobe or, you know, fill in gaps. I definitely recommend these. You can see there's not a huge color selection here with these, but any of the Daily Ritual ones, I really have liked pretty much everything that I've tried of that brand. And so actually here is another Daily Ritual shirt. So this is the Jersey Standard Fit short sleeve boat neck t-shirt. And actually I am sure that I've spoken about this before because this is my absolute favorite shirt of like any t-shirt that I've worn in the past several years. What I like about it is the thing that a lot of people complain about in the review section, but it's not like a dolman sleeve and not like loose, but it's like a little bit more of a relaxed fit. The boat neck is very flattering. The sleeves are just like a little more, I don't know, again, not dolman, not batwing, but they're like a little different shape sleeve. But then it does kind of come in a little bit at the waistband. So basically it's not like just a big loose square boxy shirt. It does come in and give you like a little bit more of a shape, which I like. I feel like then it's a little bit looser, you know, around like the parts that you want to skim over, but it does still come back in and give you a little shape. A lot of people in the comments or the reviews section do complain like, oh, the waist gets so tight, or like, why, you know, why is there like this tighter waist? I like that about it. So if that sounds like something good to you, kind of skim over everything else and then just come back in a little bit. I have these now in every color that I would like that they come in. I would love if more colors were available. I would 100% buy more of them. I'm always nervous that they're gonna discontinue these. So yeah, definitely like one of my favorite style tops. I wear these all spring, summer, fall. Okay, another tech item. This is a pack of USB-C charger cables because around this time got a new cell phone that also used the USB-C cable, so all of my old chargers that I had stashed all around the house and in my purse and everywhere else no longer fit. So ended up getting a pack of these. My husband also, he had already had a phone that had this type of cable, so he has some of these around, so our house is totally decked out with these. I carry one with me, you know, everything, anywhere that I need a cable, I have one. But also I've really gotten into wireless chargers now, and that's kind of what I use more around the house. So I don't think it's going to come up in this 2021 set of products, but if I have a chance, I'll talk about the wireless chargers that I use because I kind of prefer that now to like plugging in the cable, but definitely still using these and carry them with me. Oh, and then also because I got a new cell phone, it no longer had a headphone jack. And so I couldn't plug it into the aux port in my car. So I had to get a Bluetooth adapter. So this plugs into the car and then it would Bluetooth to my phone so I could still play audio from my phone through the car speakers. And this thing actually works great. I maybe charged it once in a year. Now, obviously, again, I'm not spending hours and hours a day in the car. If I was really commuting and like listening to stuff all the time, I probably would have needed to charge it more often, but for the low amount of use that it got in my car, it worked really fantastic. And, you know, I was out there through all, you know, hot and cold and all types of weather and temperatures, and it worked great. So it's just one button you just turn it on, and, you know, and then the phone picks it up and you can Bluetooth right to it. I've also used it, you know, plugged it into other different speakers and things if I needed to Bluetooth to something else. So it's very versatile. You don't have to use it just in a car. Okay, now we're getting into hats. Remember last summer was the summer of hats and the summer of jumpsuits. So this is the Simplicity Women's Wide Brim Straw Sun Hat with a lanyard. And so I think I might have given like more of a hat comparison review, but we're going to talk about all the hats right now. So this one I liked because it was black. The lanyard is a neat idea, but this lanyard doesn't detach at all. So if you don't want to use the lanyard, you either have to like have it hanging behind you or like stuff it up inside the hat. And you can see in the image it has like a little wooden bead. So it's not just like a soft piece of string that would be in there. There's a little wooden bead bopping around on your head. So anyway, it's nice. This isn't my very favorite hat, but this is a fine hat. Okay, next item is a faux leather anti-theft backpack purse, and I actually have this in like a nylon material as well, and I've spoken about it several times. I'll put a link to my video about travel purses because I did a much more in-depth review of that there, and this is basically the exact same bag except it's made of faux leather, and it has a front pocket. I don't think my other one had the front pocket, but anyway, I like the other one so much. I wanted this leathery looking version to have like a little bit more elevated version of the same bag. So definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen my other videos, basically the thing that makes it like anti-theft is the fact that you access the main compartment of the backpack by a zipper that will be against your back while you're wearing it. So people aren't going to be able to just like unzip and reach in there without your knowledge while you're wearing the bag. And the other cool thing about it is that if you don't want to use it as a backpack, or maybe you're somewhere that doesn't allow backpacks temporarily, or you just need to like have it handy quick, you know, while you're like reaching in it, there's this other, you can see there's like a shorter strap that's kind of hanging across the front, and so you can just use that to wear it as a purse over your shoulder rather than having to wear it only on your back. I definitely talked about this one when I got it. This is the Ulanzi extension tripod selfie stick. I think I had seen this in somebody else's like Amazon favorites video, and it's fantastic. I still use it all the time. It's my go-to little tripod to take out for like vlogging and things. So you can see it extends, and it has a little tripod base. So I wouldn't use it. I have a Canon G7X. That's what I'm filming on right now. It's just like a small rectangular vlogging camera. It doesn't have any, you know, external lenses or anything. It's just a small compact unit. I probably wouldn't use this for anything larger than that. Obviously for a cell phone would be fine. You get the little clip that clips your cell phone in, but I wouldn't use it for any kind of bigger, heavier camera. It definitely would not support it. It like barely supports my vlogging camera, but for anything smaller, any kind of like GoPro or smaller things, it would be great. And yeah, it just condenses down really small, so you can carry it in a bag, and then when you want to extend it or use it as a tripod, it works great. Okay, another hat. This is the Fur Talk Women's Beach Sun Straw Hat. This one actually I see mentioned all the time in reviews. I don't know if they're like promoting themselves somewhere to vloggers or something. It's a really nice hat. The black ribbon around the brim is really nice, and it comes down kind of like the ribbon kind of hangs down, which is, it's not just a band around the hat, so it's really cute. You can see it comes in a bunch of colors. It is, again, not my favorite hat because I've found that I prefer something with a little bit wider of a brim. This is a little bit smaller hat, but it is a really nice, cute hat. Okay, another cat product. So this is something I had on my radar and on my wish list for really years, like since I had a totally different set of cats than I have now. Like well over 10, 12 years. So this is Doc and Phoebe's cat feeder, and basically the methodology behind this is, you know, cats are meant to be hunters. If you just feed them their food in a bowl, they're gonna get bored, they're gonna get upset, they're gonna get sick. So what you do is put a little bit of food in these little mouse-shaped like hunting things, hide them around the house every day, and then every day the cats like spend all day hunting their food, and it keeps, you know, keeps them happier and is more close to like what they naturally would be doing. So they were, when they first came out, or when I first heard about them, they were like very expensive. And so I was actually surprised to see them on Amazon recently, and like at a much more affordable price. Now you're supposed to have, I forget, maybe like 3 per cat per day, or I forget the number you're supposed to have. Like you need a lot of sets if you have multiple cats. I just got this set of 3 because I figured like let's just try it out, and what I really wanted to use it for was maybe do it like last thing before going to bed to kind of keep them active, or like keep them occupied overnight so they weren't waking us up at, you know, 3, 4 a.m. starting to look for breakfast. The problem is if you have multiple cats, there's no way to control who's getting the food. And so if one cat is really into it and hunts down all the food, and another cat doesn't really care for this and doesn't get any food, then one cat's gonna get real fat. So while I think it would work great if you have a single cat, or even like a pair of cats, or cats that you can like better control who does what, in my situation, and especially now where we have to control like who's eating what type of food, it's really just not, it's not worth setting up and doing. And also, like, as I thought about it more, I'm like, they're gonna watch me hide them. They'll know where they are and just go right to them. So it didn't really work out the way I wanted. Luckily, I had only invested in this set of 3. It's a neat idea. I think especially for like a single cat, it would probably be good to keep them more entertained since they're by themselves. But yeah, it didn't really work out for us in our crazy cat household. Okay, these are the HDE shorts, elastic, high-waisted shorts. These are fantastic shorts with a caveat. So I have these now, I think in 3 different colors and like 2 or 3 different sizes. Here's why. So I first purchased, I'm not sure if it was the size that was recommended by the size chart, or like the size that I just thought that I would need, but basically I got a pair and they were way too big. These are elastic waist, there's no you know, buttons or zippers or anything, and while they stayed on me, a light breeze could have potentially pantsed me. So I was like, oh, I guess I really need to size down. So I bought 2 pairs then in the next size down, and they were great. I was wearing them last summer. Went to wash them, and I washed them by hand in the sink and let them air dry, and somehow still, despite all that, they shrunk up and became so misshapen and weird. Like, they shrunk, but they could still fit on my body, but like the pockets stuck out weird. It was not good. So I was like, oh gosh, maybe then I really should have gone with the larger size so that once I wash them once, they will like become the right size. So I ended up buying the next size bigger as well. So I'm not sure I had a chance this summer to do all that testing, because actually I've gotten a bunch of other shorts since then as well. But so I'll just say, if you get the right size straight out of the package, they're fantastic. They're so comfortable. I hate things now that have zippers and buttons and things. I pretty much am only wearing pull-on pants now, so they're very comfortable. They're a great length. They have real pockets, which is surprisingly hard to find in shorts anymore. They come in a number of different, you know, flattering colors. I love them. Just keep it with a grain of salt about the laundering aspect. Like, definitely don't put them in a washing machine. And even if you are very careful and gentle with them, be prepared that you might not ever be able to wear them again after you wash them. Okay, and then we have this Dexy indoor doormat. So our side entrance door is very, very close to the floor, and we for a long time had like a really, really thin doormat in that area, and it finally kicked the bucket, and so I've been trying to replace it for the last couple of years. So this one, I thought from the description it sounded like it was going to be thin enough to be in that area, and it really is not. It's, I mean, not like it's a thick rug, but it's got like a little bit of a loop pile to it. It's very nice. I ended up using it in front of my washing machine, and actually if I knew I was going to put it in that spot, I would have gotten one of the wider options, so it would have spanned across like in front of the washer and dryer. Right now it's sort of like halfway between each. So, but it's really nice as a rug. It just wasn't as thin as we needed. So that's where I'm going to cut it for part 1. If you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I will be filming and then posting part 2 right after this. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.